Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update for everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. Today is January 2nd. My name is Whack Whack Attack, and welcome to 2023. Sorry that episodes have not been daily recently. Things have just been really busy with the holidays and childcare and all that kind of stuff. So it's just been really difficult to get episodes out. They won't go back to regularity and frequency until Monday next week, but I wanted to get this episode out for you all today because it's New Year. There's a lot of stuff I haven't covered recently, and I think it's a good time to get started. So let's do that. So first of all, we're going to start here with this update from Joe from a couple of days ago saying hello. Today we're happy to release the final Smarnode update for 2022 version 1.7.2. As with all previous releases, this is a medium priority update that comes with a few small bug fixes and additional features, but more importantly, updates several clients with their own fixes and security improvements. We recommend you update at your convenience. So I already updated mine. It updates Besu, Nethermind, Nimbus, Prism, Teku, and Prometheus. Ultrasound Relay has now a new unregulated non-OFAC compliant relay that has been added, and there's also a big change for rewards tree 3. So the oDAO, if anyone is on the oDAO and listening to this, please update your version as soon as possible. And then thanks to Fornax, Fornax is going to get a couple of shout outs in today's episode, so good job Fornax. Thanks to Fornax for the Smarnode. The Smarnode will now verify your fallback client is on the same chain as your primary before using it, and then there's some other stuff in there too. So thank you for that update. Like I said, I already updated, so let's move on to actual stuff now. So last week Jasper released this paper, Why Paradigm Was Wrong, How rETH Will Flip stETH. It's a great paper, and it was really well thought out argument. It was about 50 pages long. So the intro is analysis. So this paper is analysis of the social and economic headwinds facing stETH, Lido's stETH, and how these headwinds are reflected by market conditions, creating tailwinds for rETH, breakdown of the broader LSD market, and the general Rocket Pool bull case. So Jasper gave some disclosures, some acknowledgements, and then he linked to my tweet saying, my podcast saying, if 50 pages are too long for you, fret not, for Whack Whack Attack, host of Rocket Fuel, has provided an audiobook version dated December 26, 2022 of this essay. So this essay is designed to be a living document, and I think, semi-living document, and it'll be edited as time goes on. However, I'm not recording a new audio version of this every time. So I think I'm one of the few people in the world who have read this twice. So that's cool. I read it once for myself, and then I read it once while I was recording the audio version of it. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes. So the table of contents, power is not law. The monopolist playbook. So here Jasper talked about how Lido kind of abused like the power law, and like they're manipulating it to get an outsized share of stake. And then social headwinds to ST growth, governance attackable, rapidly changing fee incentive structures, multi-chain dilemma, and validator registry. So here Jasper was getting information from the paradigm paper from a couple of years ago, and using that to say, where Lido's falling short, and then economic headwinds to stETH growth, and then the issues with that. And then the next section, chapter 4, is where Rocket Pool can really grow this coming year, starting now. Number 5, new challenger arrives, and then giving the count of other staking services out there and the positives and negatives about them. So it's a really great paper, absolutely fantastic. Like Jasper said here, if you want to listen to it, then you can listen to the podcast. The podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Anchor's page, and also there's an RSS link if you want to import it into any podcast service you have. So, and then there's a tweet here from me saying, today Jasper released an amazing article titled Why Paradigm Was Wrong, How rETH Will Flip stETH. I read out the article and made it available on my podcast, and then the link is there as well. So that's available for you to go check out. I hope you read the article or listen to the podcast at least, and there might be something special coming up soon about this. So yeah, that's really exciting. Okay, next we have something really great that started, which is the GMC, of which I'm a member. The Grants Management Committee has released information about the grants. So January 2023 GMC community discussion of submitted applications, and then there's a link here. So this is the DAO forum homepage, and on the right side it has the latest posts and information about them. And then we have the GMC call for grant applications. Deadline is January 15th, and then we have GMC call for bounties and retrospective awards as well. So check those out. If you feel like there's anything that you can apply for a grant, please do apply. I think we're going to get some really great submissions, and the community will get a say in all of those, and then you can see all of the grants as they're being submitted, the grant requests as they're being submitted. So you'll be able to see all of that, and GMC will take it to the next step in a few weeks' time. So that's really exciting. I'm sorry that the left of the screen is cut off, especially for this next place here. So over the last few days, there've been some issues with the oDAO, and the community's been talking about them and what's going on. So Noshua here made a post called Improving oDAO Participation. It's after the latest issue with the oDAO, sparked by Grey Wizard's oDAO dashboard, and then there's a link to the dashboard. Trading had a discussion about how to better address the oDAO participation risk. We mainly talked about improving the ability to monitor oDAO performance and creating incentives for performance to improve. This is mine and Valdorf's attempt at a summary of the main ideas developed. So let's have a look at Grey Wizard's dashboard. Here there's links to oDAO members, their successful transactions, failed transactions, total transactions, balances submitted, balance price, submit prices per transaction, submit rewards pool transactions, submit rate, optimism, and total transaction fees that they've paid. So we're seeing about how all these different people are working, and the oDAO stats for the last 30 days, who's doing what. So some of the oDAO members might not be performing as well as others. So that was the reason why the thread came up, and it says inability of the community PDAO to act. There's monitoring, heartbeat, subcommittee submission schemes, Smarnode version tracking, and then incentives, rewards linked to successfully contributing to consensus, and strike system, and communication with oDAO. And then this there's only been one reply from Jasper so far, but I think it's a very important thread for people to go ahead and read and get that full information. So yeah, definitely go and do that. Okay, next we had this really great news from Joe, who says wave 1 of the Proteus has finished reservations. So Joe says it's been 24 hours since I announced the opening of reservations for the Proteus, and the first wave of reservations are already being filled. This is an incredible response, way faster than I expected, especially in a holiday weekend like this. So Joe had around 50 Proteus systems ready to go out, and he set up a Google Doc where people could submit their requests, and more than 50 people have said that they want to do it. So the Proteus will be $575, I think, base. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, somewhere in that region. And then there's a few customization things that you can do to make it around $600. But I think the most it can go up to is about $650. So that as a staking machine kind of is a really nice center point between what you can do making a Rock 5B board yourself, which will come in at around $400 to $450, or an Intel NUC, which can come up to $800 to $1,000. So it's kind of in that middle point where you get so much for it. You get a system that's ready to run on Rocket Pool, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, Joe's making a really cool system here. So I think I put my name down for one as a fallback machine. There'll be, I think, a whole bunch of people are buying them as fallback machines, but then some people will be buying them as their primary machine. So it's really exciting to see. I think Joe needs to go and order some more Rock 5P boards now, but I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy that, this has been a successful launch for Joe, and congratulations, Joe. I'm really excited to get my hands on mine. So thank you. Okay, next we have this really interesting post. There's not really much to say except a lot of speculation. So MarcZeller from Aave said, "Hello friends, can an admin DM me?" And then Maverick came in later and said, "Good morning, flick me a DM." So Aave is one of those services that the community's been asking for quite a while. It's a great lending service that they do a lot of great things in DeFi, and it's like a really huge money Lego that it would be fantastic to get our ETH integrated into. One of the main reasons why it's not been integrated yet is because of not having a Chainlink Oracle, but once we get that Chainlink Oracle, I think it would be really great for us to get an Aave integration. So I guess Aave are thinking about the same kind of thing. Of course, right now there's a lot of hype about LSDs going into withdrawal. That's liquid staking derivatives going into withdrawals. So it seems like Aave are trying to get ahead of this, which would be really, really great. I think getting Aave support before like around Atlas or withdrawals would just be a huge boost for our ETH and the Rocket Pool protocol as a whole. So that's something I'm very excited about. It's like a few months ago when we got the person from Wintermute just popped in. So there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, and this is just like the very, very, very tiny tip of the iceberg of like all the stuff that's happening underneath there. So Aave would be amazing. I really hope this works out. I'm sure no one from the team is going to give us any alpha except for those people who join the chit chat calls right away. That's where the great alpha is always shared. So yeah. Okay, next we had this comment from Ken who says, "We need ETH Denver Rocket Pool booth volunteers. We need volunteers sign up sheet," and there's a Google Doc. Please sign up for at least one shift of volunteering at the booth. I have personally signed up for 3 shifts for the 3 days that I will be in Denver. For anyone else who is part of the community, who has hung out in trading for a while, please pop in and sign up. And yeah, I think that would be really wonderful for people from the community to really volunteer. The idea was that, initially that there'd just be a couple of people at the booth, but it seems like, we'll be a very crowded booth. So having more people around to just chat to people, like, you'll get exclusive Rocket Pool swag that you can wear while you're volunteering. Sign up for some. I'm extremely excited about meeting as many people as possible at the booth. So I'll be there if you want to come and say hi to me. Of course, I'm happy to talk about Rocket Pool all day long. So, I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of time at the booth or around the booth. So please sign up for the booth. And yeah, it'd be really great if more of us signed up. So thanks, Ken, for letting us know that we need to do that. Okay, so one of the things that happened on the 23rd was I fell into a spot of bother. I don't know if I covered this on Rocket Fuel before the break. No, I don't think I did. But there was some issues with power outages in the USA just around Christmas time because of really bad weather. And my node went offline at 5 or 6 a.m. And I didn't realize it was offline until 1:30 in the afternoon. So it was offline for about 7 hours without even me realizing it. And then bad things were happening. Obviously, I was missing attestations. Thankfully, I didn't miss any proposals in that time. So I missed attestations. And then once I figured out what was going on, I popped into support and I said, "Hello, friends, I'm in a spot of bother." And basically, Fornax was absolutely amazing and talked me through getting onto the rescue node and getting Phiz's fallback working for myself. And so thank you so much for Fornax, and thank you so much for other people who were helping with that. Basically, my system kind of went a bit haywire, so I used a fallback machine to get testing again, and Fornax talked me through all of that step by step, which was incredibly nice of them. So thank you so much for that, Fornax, and thank you for the support team for setting up such great infrastructure in place. Object, if you're watching, I want my POAP for using the rescue node. And it was legitimate. I swear it was legitimate. Like, I could show you the missed attestations. But thank you for everyone and for helping with the fallback with the rescue node. It's absolutely crucial infrastructure for the community. And I'm really happy that we have that. So thank you so much. Okay, the next thing is I want to give a shout out to Anthony Sassano for just being a great Rocket Pool community member since he's joined. So he was on the weekly roll up with people from Bankless team who are also on the oDAO. And let's just watch this clip.
Here's a takeout or a tweet I want to get your take on. This is Ben. This is the Ben, the analyst over at Bankless, our analyst Ben. RPL up 67% against Lido since the November 9th bottom. Interesting. Any takes on RPL versus Lido?
Yeah, I mean, I've become so biased recently towards Rocket Pool because
we're both Rocket Pool maxis.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah, they're both Rocket Pool maxis. So there's Anthony Sassano in this clip and David Hoffman talking about how they are very bullish on Rocket Pool and how they support the protocol. So it's so great that they're getting the word out. And then Sassano also set up more mini pools, and this time he used Rocket Aave to set them up. And I think he has 5 mini pools now, maybe more. But it's really great that he's dived into the community and getting all that done. So thanks, Sassano. Thanks for getting the word out. And it's really great that people are talking about Rocket Pool in such a positive way. Okay, next we have this comment from Phiz from this morning about how withdrawals are going to look. So he said something really interesting. He said, I'm not currently interested in encouraging solo stakers to convert to Rocket Pool. The base layer of the beacon chain is solo stakers, and they are the most aligned operators as far as I'm concerned. Rocket Pool is currently the biggest community growth opportunity because few people have 32 ETH. The additional rewards are nice, and Rocket Pool setup is easier. But I still regard solo staking as the gold standard. I would want to question my own motives deeply if I began to step away from that. So this actually brought up a really interesting conversation about, people moving around after withdrawals and like the great reshuffling and how that might go. And Schifrin said, what's the ideal balance then? I assume lots of solo stakers have interest, 50-50 RPL and solo staking. And they kind of led to an interesting discussion that I'm not going to follow all of right now, but you can go back and look. But it's definitely Phiz is saying, he's happy to support Rocket Pool up to 20% of validators, which is fantastic. He said that a few months ago there was a bit of a campaign for people to cap themselves at 22%. So, but for Phiz saying that this is going to 8 to 20%, I think that's fair for Rocket Pool. And Valdov says that sounds like a good target. And then we help the oligopoly include other good players like hopefully Stakewise version 3. And then I said as well that I'm happy to promote any other staking services provided that they match the decentralization of Rocket Pool. But one thing interesting that Valdov mentioned is that right now it's a lot healthier for people to join Rocket Pool than solo stake. And he gives this. He says, rewording this, I believe that Lido holding 30% of staked ETH is the biggest threat internal to Ethereum. So understanding that as a foundation, he says if someone has 416 ETH, they can make 13 solo validators or 40 LEB8s. And he uses this 40 number instead of 52 because you have to buy RPL. So he's accounting for the RPL purchase within that. So he says if the person with 416 ETH starts their own solo stakes, then they will take 416 ETH away from potentially going to Lido. However, if that same person made 40 LEB8s, then they would take 1,280 ETH away from Lido. So I think this is a really interesting point that needs to kind of be promoted a little bit more and thought about a little bit more, because right now Lido is such a big threat that we as a community need to do as much as possible as getting ETH away from Lido, and either solo staking or ETH staking with Rocket Pool, right? And the going with Rocket Pool is so much more, like you can lift so much more ETH along with the ETH that you stake. And then on top of that, obviously, you know, the rewards are better and all that kind of stuff. But from a community perspective, it definitely makes sense to promote Rocket Pool here, because we can have a much more outsized impact of getting Lido's percentages down. So that's a really interesting thing. That whole discussion was really interesting. Please go back and check the links in the discussions, in the notes below, and follow that along, because it was a really good discussion. Okay, next I wanted to give this shout out to the POAP team and the people who work with POAP. Kevster said, it's the informal end of year meeting with the POAP curation and customer support team. They're excited about the Rocket Fuel shout out. So I give B a shout out from the customer support team a couple of weeks ago, because, you know, they helped me with an issue that I was having, distributing a POAP for the raffle. And no, it wasn't for the raffle, it was for something else, but they helped me with an issue, which was really kind of them. So then Kevster was talking to them, because Kevster works with POAP. So I said, hey, I'm going to give them all another shout out, because the POAP team has been absolutely amazing this year for Rocket Fuel. I think I've released 7 or 8 POAPs now, with 2 more coming in the coming days. One is the December contributor, and one is another one that I've given everyone enough warning about. So there's POAPs coming from Rocket Fuel that I'm really happy about distributing, and the POAP team will be helping me distribute those. So thank you so much to POAP. What a wonderful protocol, and what a wonderful group of people who work there. Okay, next we want to talk about price. So we haven't really talked about price on Rocket Fuel for a few months now, because things were not that exciting. However, in these last couple of days, things have gotten really exciting really quickly. I've talked about it a few times that, you know, the bullish catalysts for Rocket Pool are really, really great going into withdrawals and that period after withdrawals. And it seems like the market's kind of catching up to that idea now too. So one of the things Boshi shared is a screenshot of Rocket Pool being 78 on the CoinGecko list of tokens, which is absolutely amazing. This is the highest that Rocket Pool has ever been on the list. We are not at all-time high ratio levels, but the ratio has improved a lot since this week. We are currently at oh no, 0x Nudes bought yesterday and he sold today. What a shame. Anyway, the ratio is at 0.0175. However, it peaked overnight at, let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah, new local high here. Let me see. It peaked at 0.0184 pretty much, which is only 8% down from all-time highs. So the ratio has been doing some really amazing things these last few days, and actually the last few weeks, in all honesty. Since the lows from November, when Bitcoin hit new lows, Rocket Pool has gained a whole lot of ratio in that time, which is absolutely fantastic. Really, really great to see. So that, you know, there's been some really good buying over the last like 48 hours, which is really great to see. And hopefully I'll be celebrating new all-time highs on Rocket Fuel very soon. It's something that I'm very excited about. So let's see if we can make that happen. One thing that is really interesting to keep in mind though, is as the ratio increases, the amount of RPL withdrawable starts to get high really fast. So here's a chart that shows at 0.0176 ratio, there's 420,000 RPL that is staked on nodes that can be withdrawn and sold. So that's a whole lot of RPL, and I think it's really interesting to see how that's going to go forward, how that's going to be going forward, because that will add a sell pressure to withdrawal, like to people selling to stake more, or just to stop the ratio from going up as much. So if we hit the previous all-time high at 0.02, that will be about 1 million RPL on nodes that can be withdrawn and sold. I have some on my node that's above 150%, and I'm thinking of selling that in the coming days or weeks and spinning up a new mini pool. But hey, that's the kind of thing that people are going to start thinking about now. So that might temper some of the bullishness. But I think it's really exciting time for Rocket Pool going forward in these next few weeks. We have Chainlink stuff happening, Aave stuff happening. We have Atlas launching in just over a month, or maybe within the next 2 months. Withdrawals going live in March. This is an extremely bullish period for Rocket Pool and liquid staking, and I'm so excited that I'm here for it. So I'm going to stop recording here. I know there'll be a lot of stuff that I've missed over the last week and a bit. I'm sorry about that, but hey, I'm going to be back fairly sporadically, I think, over the next week, but back to full time from Monday next week. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all had a lovely holiday time. Happy New Year to you all. And I think 2023 is going to be an amazing year for Rocket Pool and Rocket Fuel too. So thank you all. Bye.